Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a spread that I created specifically for this deck, the Citadel Oracle. And the spread consists of paying attention to the elements on the cards and how they land in each of the elements of each suit. So very briefly, in case you don't know, the Citadel Oracle can also be played as a game, but it has 4 suits representing a city. And we go from the inner part of the city to the outermost part of the city. And so we start inside with the fire and the court. And this is where the power, the wealth, the responsibility, your ambition, your strength, your ego lies. Then we come over here to the academy, the next outer ring. This is the air suit. This is your personal growth, your learning, your development, where balance is needed, change that's needed, fresh perspectives, new things happening. Then we come over here to the crowd, which is the next outer ring. You got your earth suit. And this is where things are family oriented, your foundations that you're creating. You're considering your needs and the needs of others, how your actions in that are now affecting those of the people around you. And then the outer section of the city is the troop, which is our water element. And this is your emotions, your thoughts, your personal identity, any of the masks that you put on every day. Maybe what comes from the heart happens here. So the whole concept of this spread that I created is using the elements along with the meanings of the cards and seeing what happens to be the most impactful or important thing during a reading. So, for example, if I happen to get a fire card within the fire element, then that is going to make a huge impact on whatever my question was. Or if I get an air card that lands in the fire category, that would also be a huge impact to the reading. If I got a water card here, that's going to weaken whatever this card is that lands here in, say, my responsibility or, power category. And it's going to be like that for each element. So I hope that makes sense. So let's do a reading focused on a relationship. Let's say Bob wants to know what is going on in his relationship with Betty. We'll just say that. So let's see what comes out. Here in the court position, so his power center, his responsibility in the relationship, we have a water element in a fire element. So let's see what this is. Viewpoints and control. And I'm going to look that up really quickly here in the book. The most important story in your life is your own, but you are just one story in a tapestry of thousands. It's important to respect the tales of others around you too. Rather than forcing people to conform to the role you think they should play in your story, learn to communicate and see things from their point of view too. So with this being a watermelon, oh my God. So with this being a water element, in the suit of fire. I would say to Bob that he is feeling like he has very little control in this relationship. And I'm getting that because this is the category of his responsibility, and water weakens fire. So let's just see why Bob feels like he has very little control in this relationship. So now we have an air card, which is fueling his reasonings of why he feels that he doesn't have any control or maybe even say so in this relationship. And we have the guide, which is inheritance and correction. So let's see what the book says for that one. You're in a situation that isn't ideal, but it's up to you to make the most of it. Holding a grudge against what led you here won't achieve anything. It's time to accept the cards you've been dealt. So this is telling me that Bob's ego, because this is also the suit of ego, is fueling this feeling that he has no voice or he has no say-so or control in this relationship with Betty, because it started out as like a weakened position. He was feeling weak and maybe undermined in the whole situation. But when you pull another card, you realize that his ego is really what's fueling this. So let's come over here and see what Bob needs to change, or how he can grow past feeling this way. So now we have air and air. So these are supporting each other. So this is a pretty big deal of something that needs to be looked at and changed in this relationship. And we have the acolyte. If it feels like you're not making progress lately, it may be time to think about learning something new and expanding your horizons. Learning is an infinite journey. Embrace the fun of new experiences. Will provide a fresh perspective that you need. I think this is a perfect card to land in the air category, because this is all about change and movement and motion. And maybe Bob is dwelling on things from the past, where he felt that he didn't have a voice and was holding a grudge because of it. So it's time to change that up. And this, like I said, this carries a lot of weight. He really needs to do something new and quit the same pattern that he's been doing with Betty, because like I said, the air is fueling this fire. So that whole grudge that he's been holding is the stem of the problem. That's a big deal. And then this air and air is a doubling down on the changes that need made in the relationship, like right now. So over here, so how is this affecting his needs and Betty's needs, and what does the foundation look like now to this whole relationship? So we have earth and we have fire, and earth and fire are on the neutral plane. So this is ambition, diligence, setbacks. Don't let yourself fall into the same trap. Take a moment to reassess where you are right now so that you don't stumble when things go wrong. Half the battle is won when you accept that you will face problems along the way, but whatever hurdles you encounter, know that they can be overcome. So all is not lost here in this relationship with Betty so far. If these changes that need made occur, if they try this new way forward, maybe a new style of communication, because this is pretty neutral right now if this new way is adopted quickly. So over here in the emotions or the masks or how he feels that he's identifying in this relationship is water, and we have fire. Well, water is going to put out the fire. So that's going to weaken this a little bit. So let's see what the sleeper means. Past decisions that you have made are starting to have an effect, and whether they were made for right or wrong reasons, it's too late to change them now. It's hard to admit when you are at fault, so learn what you can from the situation and next time make a better choice. So this, I feel, really ties back into here with this grudge that he's holding. He has the chance here to realize that a mistake was made and to let that grudge go. Hence the water putting out the fire. And if he does that, they'll be able to move into a new place with one another, perhaps new communication, or a new direction for their relationship. I love adding this added layer in of the elements strengthening, weakening, or neutral with each other as far as a reading goes. When I've done the readings for myself, they were pretty profound. I have to keep looking at my notes to not get the elements confused sometimes of what strengthens and what weakens and that sort of thing with each other. But it adds a whole other layer to a reading when you look at that. Because like I said, here the thing that carries the most weight is the change that needs made. The new path, the new way of being with each other, learning to be in a different place with each other. Because if he doesn't let this water put out this fire that comes all the way back here to this grudge, it could be a poor outcome for his relationship with Betty. So let's do one that relates to a job. What does Sam need to know about his job right now? The only thing about this is, even though this is flat right here, I do have trouble shuffling it. I don't know if anybody else has that issue. So what does Sam need to know about his job? Okay, so right off the bat, we have an air fueling the position of fire. So this is his responsibility, his ambition in this job. And we have the priest. Let me see if I can find that really quickly. A difficult challenge has come and gone, and in its place is the promise of new dawn. Within you is everything that you need to bring about your happiness. You are resilient, and every tragedy brings an important lesson. Have faith, and you will be rewarded. So what I would see with this is that Sam is really pushing himself now towards his highest goal. He has his ambitions right in the forefront of where he wants to go. Maybe he was going through a tough time before, but he seems to have worked that all out. And this current job for him seems to be the right fit because he feels that he can advance and go further in this job. And he has high hopes for the current job that he's in. And with air fueling fire, I would say that that's a positive place to be in. So what kind of changes or things possibly need made on the job front for him? So we have air and we have air. And this is the alchemist. In order to create, be it a new project or a new chapter in your life, something must first be dismantled in order to make space. But in alchemy, nothing is ever truly destroyed. The new is built on the foundations of what has come before, and there are lessons to be learned from the rubble. So again, I'm going to stick with that this change or this new job perhaps that Sam has is a really good fit for him. And he is starting from the ground up and can build a better foundation here and go further in this career, especially with air supporting air. So we come over here to earth. So, how is this going to affect him in his material world or his foundations or perhaps his family? And we have earth and we have an earth. So we have two more, or we have another card supporting the position that it's in. And this is the forgotten. The social pressure to say and do the right thing can be overwhelming, and no one gets it right every time. Don't allow fear of making a mistake stop you from trying at all, though you'll find yourself isolated from the very company you crave. Be aware of what is causing you this anxiety and turn that negative energy into something constructive. Okay, so since this is also falling in the category of family, being family oriented, or how your needs or wants are affecting those around you, perhaps this job is taking more time from Sam than he anticipated. But he has such a drive to follow his ambition, and he has a distinct faith that this job is the right fit for him and is going to get him to the goal that he's been trying to achieve for quite some time. However, with earth and earth, he is really feeling a pull when it comes to family. And maybe he feels that he is being distracted or not being able to devote enough time to his family because he is pursuing this passion, this new job so hard. So that is something that he really needs to consider and think about, of what this drive is really going to do to his family. Because so far we have air fueling fire, air supporting air, and now we have earth supporting earth. So this is a really big deal. There's nothing so far weakening. Let me check this one. There's nothing so far that is weakening any of those energies. So everything that is occurring in this new job and his drive and passion for this new career of his is all consuming right now. That's how I would see it, especially the way all these elements are lining up with one another. So over here in the troop with his personal identity, or maybe the mask that he feels that he has to wear, or even his emotions about this whole thing. So we have water and we have earth, and those two elements support each other. So still, while it's not as a big of impact as these three things here, water and earth are still supporting each other. So we have the Smith. Let's see what this is. It says overthinking and taking action. Okay, the Smith. There's something on your mind that you've been planning for a long time, and you thought it may be easier to keep putting it off The time for action is here. By continuing to overthink things, you're going to miss your opportunity. Seize the day and go get it. So he really needs to get out of his head and kind of get his emotions in check also. Have that conversation with your family and let them know how you're feeling, but help them to understand what passions and drive you have for this new job, new position, or whatever Sam is going through. Because, like I said, these three cards carry the most weight. This one does also because they're supporting each other, but before he spirals out of control and then takes his focus off exactly what he's going after, then he really needs to have that conversation right here with the family. Because we have two earth cards right next to each other, and we have two air cards right next to each other. So his thoughts, his mind is all in the game of work. That's where it is, because he wants to provide for his family. That's how I would see the earth suit here. He wants a stable foundation, more material wealth so he can provide better for his family. And that's where his whole entire drive is. So I hope this reading made some sense to you. Let me know what you think about it when you add the layer of elements in, and where an element is supporting or neutral or fueling a situation. Let me know what you think of the take on that as far as this spread goes. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or comment on it or share it or whatever you feel like doing. I really appreciate the love. And until I see you next time, bye.